If you take a look at that swagger, it really says it all, doesn't it? Absolutely. The pale complexion, the sharp bone structure, the crisp white outfit. But let's be honest, that confident strut was no accident. It was very intentional, make no mistake about it, my friends. And there's a real reason behind that. Deep down, Meghan Markle is absolutely fuming behind the scenes. Of course, she can't show it. Too busy sucking in her cheeks and convincing herself that she belongs among the likes of Giselle and those iconic supermodels from the 90s we all adored. But let's face it, it's not quite working out that way, is it? As always, let me explain. Good morning. Lovely to see you, and thank you so much for joining me today. A warm welcome to all my brand new subscribers. Great to have you here. Now, behind the scenes of this rather dreadful week, no matter how you look at it, things have not gone particularly well. As you can imagine, for none other than Meghan Markle. You see, this entire plan had been months in the making. The big relaunch, the grand execution meant to mark her official comeback. But as always, there was a fly in the ointment, something she simply couldn't remove, no matter how hard she tried. Before Meghan came onto the scene, Prince Harry had a close friendship with international football legend, now Sir David Beckham, and his wife, the former Spice Girl turned fashion mogul Victoria Beckham. Both David and Victoria worked tirelessly to build their empires. Sure, they've endorsed countless brands over the years, but they earned their place as global celebrities. Victoria, in particular, fought hard to carve out her space in the fashion world, and that could have been incredibly beneficial for someone like Meghan Markle. But as usual, Meghan's short-sighted nature meant she alienated people right when they could have been most useful. According to reports, Meghan believed that David and Victoria were selling stories about her and Harry to the media, though of course that remains alleged. But here's the irony. Meghan and Harry themselves are often busy placing their own stories with their favorite friendly journalists. You see the contradiction, don't you? So behind that carefully choreographed swagger, as Meghan exited that ultra-luxurious dinner and returned to her lavish Paris hotel, rumored to be paid for by the very fashion brand she was representing, she was absolutely seething. Why? Because just before heading to Paris, Meghan found out what a sweet and lucrative deal Victoria Beckham had secured with, wait for it, Netflix. The very same company Meghan considers her close ally. Netflix, it seems, has bent over backwards to ensure Victoria gets exactly what she wants. And here's the fascinating part. People close to the situation claim Victoria is a joy to work with, an absolute delight. Professional, gracious, cooperative, and willing to do whatever's needed to get things done. In short, the kind of person everyone in the industry loves working with. You see, what's fascinating is that Meghan didn't actually want to do half the things Netflix suggested for her own show, With Love, Meghan. Even though, as you might recall, she and Harry appeared in that now famous white blouse scene, because at that point, Netflix wasn't just a business partner. They were her partners, personally and professionally. But Meghan felt she didn't need to do the whole media circuit. No chat shows, no glossy magazine interviews, no flashy launch events. Absolutely not. And that's where the tension began brewing. Now, as we all know, the real backlash came from what's become the now infamous connection to Princess Diana. Whether or not you believe Meghan Markle's version of events, where she insists she had no idea she'd be passing through that particular area, but, well, that's entirely up to you. What's more intriguing, though, is that her new team, the so-called disruptors, decided it was a great idea to post that particular clip. And when you think about it, if you actually had good PR instincts, you'd realize that anything involving a moving car in Paris, given the history, probably isn't a smart move. But then again, this is the same group that thought it was brilliant PR for Meghan Markle to be filmed squatting on a hospital floor, doing that baby mama dance, alongside Prince Harry during the birth of their daughter. So yes, you can see the pattern. It's all about clicks, views, and viral moments, not common sense. And now the so-called mood board, Meghan's mood board to be precise, is shifting once again. Of course, it's never her fault. Behind the scenes, she's apparently brainstorming, according to a very reliable staff source, how to spin things back into a more flattering light, particularly concerning one person. That's right. The one individual she simply cannot win over, His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, Prince William. And trust me, when you hear the backstory behind all this, you'll be just as surprised as I was. You see, there's one thing people like Meghan Markle can't stand: being ignored. And that's exactly what's been happening. Meghan once believed she had the Queen on her side, She even convinced herself that King Charles was firmly in her corner. After all, she managed to persuade him, or manipulate, depending on how you view it, into walking her down the aisle at that wedding that, frankly, never really felt like hers. It wasn't quite the grand fairy tale she imagined. She didn't want all that attention. Or at least, she said she didn't. Though truthfully, she just didn't want the then Prince of Wales getting any either. She had no choice but to accept it. But throughout all of this, there was one person who could see right through Meghan Markle, and that was Prince William. He simply couldn't abide her, and that's precisely why she was able to orchestrate tension between the brothers, Prince Harry and Prince William, pushing them further apart. Here's where it gets really interesting. Meghan has been desperately trying to get William's attention through various stunts and projects. And perhaps the worst of them all before this recent Diana Drive debacle was that fabricated text message moment. Remember the one in the Netflix series? Meghan shows Harry a message and says, "Oh, you know, that's your brother." You see, what's truly remarkable is that all of it, the so-called text moment, the "oh, it's nothing to do with me" line, and the way she just stormed off was completely staged. A total setup. Just like those fake photos from the Harry Potter premiere, or that infamous car chase in New York. Everything was fabricated for dramatic effect. That's the pattern. Everything is performative. But here's the thing. Deep down, people like Meghan can't stand it when others see through the act. And it wasn't just Prince William who did. One of the other sharp observers was none other than the ever-perceptive Catherine, Princess of Wales. Now, Catherine is, by nature, a kind-hearted woman, and that's not bias, it's just fact. She genuinely tried to give Meghan the benefit of the doubt, to smooth things over, to patch up what could be patched. But even she eventually realized there was no saving the situation. That became crystal clear when Meghan went on the Oprah Winfrey Show and completely flipped the script, claiming she was the one left in tears. A total role reversal. You get the picture. Fast forward to where we are now in 2025, and Meghan still can't come to terms with the fact that Prince William wants nothing to do with her. When Harry returned to visit his father, His Majesty the King, last month, Meghan was hoping William would somehow be pulled into the situation, forced into a public reconciliation of sorts. Maybe even pressured into saying, "We're all moving forward." But William wanted absolutely no part of it. And even King Charles couldn't persuade the Prince of Wales otherwise. Behind the scenes, Meghan was reportedly furious. And when you add that to the growing tension surrounding Victoria Beckham, well, it's clear. Things aren't exactly going her way right now. Now, moving forward, and this is where things get really interesting, while her PR team was busy spinning the Paris trip as a massive success, the reality was quite different. That shot of Meghan lounging in the back of a luxury car, feet up on the seat, inside a high-end limousine, that image sparked huge backlash. And the irony? The fashion house that paid her a massive fee to attend, allegedly covering every single expense, ended up fading into the background. The entire narrative shifted away from the brand to once again Meghan Markle and the late, beloved Princess Diana. And right on cue, suddenly, the stalker story appeared, conveniently published by one of the couple's favorite journalists here in the UK. But here's the real problem. As Harry and Meghan land back in New York, people can't help but wonder, are we in for yet another high-speed chase narrative through Manhattan? Another round of overblown drama? Because honestly, where does she go from here? Behind closed doors, the fashion brand had hoped to build an ongoing partnership with Meghan. But what they didn't anticipate was the deafening silence from other celebrities. Not a single A-lister has come forward online to say, "You looked incredible," or "That was iconic." Nothing. This was supposed to be the relaunch of relaunches, the big moment to put Meghan back on top. But instead, the chatter is all about how tasteless and tone-deaf the whole appearance was. And that right there is the issue. Now, as for Meghan herself, she's already moving on, as narcissists tend to do, and that's just my opinion. Drop one story, jump to the next. And this time, it's New York City again, where she's set to receive a questionable humanitarian award. And one might ask, what exactly is she being recognized for? Especially considering that on the very same day, Prince Harry's charity, African Parks, faced another setback. You'd think perhaps the gracious thing to do would be to dedicate the award to those who bravely spoke out during that CBS Sunday morning special they produced. But no, that would mean shifting the spotlight away from Meghan, and she simply can't have that. Because as always, it's not just about the message, it's about the moment. The jewels, the makeup by Daniel, the curated look, the designer outfit, every detail crafted to keep all eyes on her. This is all about celebrity endorsement. And as I mentioned right at the start, the problem Meghan Markle now faces is one that simply won't go away. It's like an itch she can't stop scratching, a frustration she can't quite understand. You see, Meghan Markle genuinely believes she's one of the most beautiful women in the world. Absolutely stunning. Breathtaking, heart-stoppingly gorgeous, and all of that. And the one person she desperately wanted to win over, the one she tried hardest to impress, was Prince William. Ironically, on the very week she thought she'd finally nailed it, her grand return to the fashion scene. Back on the catwalks she never really ruled in the first place. He lands the front cover of one of her most trusted magazines, People. And not just any cover, but a glowing tribute. Even they now seem to be questioning the narrative. Meghan might boost sales, but William brings credibility. Solid, respectable copy. Readers, after all, grow tired of one controversy after another. And now, Meghan finds herself with two major loose ends to tie up, both quite significant. The first, how to win back the favor of Netflix, who have now fallen head over heels for another leading lady, the ever-stylish, ever-disciplined Victoria Beckham. Netflix executives are said to be absolutely smitten with Victoria, admiring her professionalism, her charm, and her creativity. Meanwhile, all Meghan has left on the table is a Christmas special. And even that, insiders say, might not be enough to keep her relevance afloat. Here's something most people don't realize about the Netflix deal. Victoria Beckham doesn't have to pitch her ideas or wait for approval. She's been handed a major contract, full creative freedom, first-class treatment, and the title of Netflix's newest star. She's now the fly in Meghan Markle's ointment, the rival she never saw coming. It's quite ironic, really. Their relationship could have been a powerful alliance, glamorous, mutually beneficial, a true celebrity powerhouse duo. But as always, Meghan chose to cut ties, convinced she didn't need anyone else to shine. Now, all she's left with is the fashion house, and they're not exactly thrilled either. They paid top dollar to have Meghan represent their brand, only for her to hijack the entire campaign with a cheap-looking Instagram car video that many have called distasteful. No matter how much her PR team tries to spin it, the perception is what it is, and it isn't good. Neil Sean, reporting from the very heart of London. What do you think? Has Meghan Markle's comeback already started to crumble, or will she find a way to reclaim her spotlight? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from the world of royal and celebrity drama.